Yo guys, what is good and welcome back on the channel. So in today's video I'm going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to talk about all the hardware I ever owned and I'm going to tell you what I sold, what I kept, what I wish I bought sooner and what I regret ever buying. Now before we get into the actual video I have one question for you guys, and that is, what content do you want to see on this channel? I'm not really sure where I should take this channel, if I should do tutorials, if I should do reviews, if I should do stuff like this, if I should do advice videos. And that's because I don't know what you guys want to see. So it would help me out a ton if you just, commented what you want to see on YouTube, what you want to see on this channel. And this way I can take the channel to something that you enjoy watching and I enjoy making and everybody's happy basically. Now I organized all my gear into 3 categories. I have stuff I sold and I'm gonna tell you why I bought it and why I sold it. I have stuff that I still own, that is still around me here in the studio, and I'm gonna tell you why I bought it, and I'm also gonna tell you why I kept it and didn't sell it again. And then we have stuff that I want to own, which I never had but is interested to me, and we're gonna talk about this at the end of the video. To kick things off, we're gonna talk about all the stuff I sold. So first up we have the Roland JDXi. This is a synthesizer. I got this in 2018. Back then it costed only around 400 euro, I think. Now it's up to 530. And this was my introduction into making digital music, like electronic music at all. It was really great for that. It had a step sequencer which helped me, make my patterns, make little compositions, little songs. Once I got into having a DAW and working with a PC, I didn't really feel like using it anymore, so that's basically why I sold it. Still, good piece of gear, 6 out of 10 recommendation. Next up is the Tenor Reveal 404, and these were basically my first studio monitors, and I got them together with the Roland synthesizer, and technically I didn't sell them, they are still around here. I just don't use them for my studio anymore and for making music, and that's mostly because they're super small, super cheap, just 220 euros for a pair of them, but they also don't have really much bass, and also compared to more expensive monitors, they obviously don't, live up to the sound quality, which is why I don't use them for my music anymore. Next up is the Hercules DJ Control Impulse 500, and this is basically a DJ controller, costs around 270 euro, and it's a really great piece of gear if you're into DJing. If you're looking for an intro DJ controller, definitely get this. That's why I put this on an 8.5 out of 10. Definitely a recommendation. Looks super cool, nice RGB lights. It's just, I'm not into DJing. I tried it twice, we're gonna come to that in a minute. I never really stuck with it, so I sold it. Now this is an interesting story. I completely don't know why I bought it. It completely goes over my head why I decided to get this, why I thought this was the best thing I could spend my money on, because back then I didn't have much money. I had to carefully select all the gear I bought, and I paid, I think, around $200 for it. Later on I sold it and I'm actually made a profit because now it's up to 270 euros. So that was a good investment if you want to see it like that, but it won't get in my head why I bought this, because I had no outboard gear except for the Roland JDXi, and I basically used this as an audio interface. I also had the microphones, which we're going to talk about in a second. But besides that, there was no reason to get something like this. It's good, mixer audio interface. It worked for that. The sound quality was okayish, obviously not the greatest thing. I just won't get in my head why I didn't bought a standard audio interface like every normal person does. Next thing is the second DJ controller I bought. Worked good as well. I bought it. It only got a 4 out of 10 right here because I instantly regret buying it and I forgot to send it back so I could get my full money back, and basically I sold it 1 week after the 30-day return policy and made a loss of 50 euros or something. It cost around $300. It seems like it's out of stock everywhere at the moment. At least that was the case when I looked at the prices, so it might not be easy to get hands on this, maybe also because of Black Friday, but yeah, great unit. Definitely a recommendation if you're into DJing and all like me, an idiot who does the same mistake twice. The next 2 things are again stuff that I still have here that I didn't sell but I just don't use, and these are 2 condenser mics. They came in the stereo pair for just 55 euro, and I must say, from a value perspective, this is really great. So obviously you have to use them with an audio interface, but they come in this nice box. They're completely out of metal. This is what they look like, and they're super nice. Sound quality obviously is okayish, but man, it's 55 euros. And I use them to record my grand piano upstairs, or the grand piano of my parents. And it worked great for that. And obviously I had to use an audio interface for this, which is why I got this Euphoria UMC 202 HD. This is basically what I should have like used or bought instead of a big mixer right here. Still won't get in my head. But anyways, it's a great thing. It's out of metal. It doesn't feel cheap, even though it's just 59 euros. So good interface. Preamps are okay. Nothing really to complain. Works. Drivers work. Has an ASIO driver, so no big deal with latency and stuff. It's okay. For the price, it's amazing. It's a really good value deal. So that wraps up all my gear that I sold, and we go over to the stuff I own and the stuff I kept and why I actually keep it. The first thing, it doesn't really have to do with music, but I had to get it on here, is this Acer screen. They don't make these anymore, but I just wanted to include it because it was the cheapest 4K monitor you could get back then, 27 inch. And it works great. It has 60 frames per second, and it does its job great. Only thing I complain about, which is why it's only a 6 out of 10, is like the really big edges. It's not the sexiest looking screen, but it works. Next thing is this I'm sitting on right now, which is the Secret Lab Titan 2020 edition. This is also not available anymore, but they replaced it with the Secret Lab Titan Evo. It's comfy, it works. Back then these were only 400 euro, but nowadays you pay like 550 or something for like a similar configuration. This is fabric. It's not like fake leather or something, but the fabric like is super sturdy. I sat on this for almost 5 years now, every single day, and yeah, you don't see any marks of usage. Now the Yamaha HS7 were basically my upgrade to the 10 on Reveal 404 monitors that I had before. Paid like $500 for this because it's a matched pair, but you can usually get them, if you get them cheap, for like 400 for a pair. And if you don't care about the matched pair, work great. Work really great. Enjoy them. I tested out these and the Row kits, also on the 7-inch variant, and then also the Adam Audio T7V, I think, and all of them worked good. The Rocket has a little bit of noise, but in the end I stuck with these because they just had this really nice sound, which I liked the most. So now, in order to set these up, I bought these K&M monitor stands. It doesn't go in my head how it's so hard to find good, small monitor stands that don't cost a fortune, and I only gave them a 4 out of 10 on this rating, and that's because they're super sturdy. Like the build quality is really nice. They're super heavy, like they're rock solid. You could put like double the weight of the speaker on them and they would be fine. But I paid like 40 euros per thing, so 80 euros for just 2 of these monitor stands with nothing else. Like, don't get me wrong, I didn't want to pay that much money, but I didn't really have any alternatives. Also, my desk is pretty high, which is because of the keyboard tray that I have underneath. So right now I have them in the lowest configuration, basically at the base level, and even this is almost too high. Like, it works for me, but I wish I could make them like a little bit like smaller. Good quality, but I wish there were an alternative back then. Not sure if there's now. Now the Biodynamic DT770 Pro are my only studio headphones that I have, and man, they work great. They do their job. The only thing that I don't really like is like how they fit. They sometimes start hurting my head up here when I wear them for a long time, and I guess that's the thing with almost all studio headphones, but it just, you know, I don't like it, and I think there's probably some out there that are doing better. Now, once I got rid of my big mixer, my big analog mixing console that I got, I needed some way to power my headphones and my studio monitors, which is why I got this Behringer Monitor 2 USB. Back then I also had another pair of studio monitors, which, well, you know, my 10 on Reveal. Obviously I didn't sell them, they stood next to this, so it definitely made sense to get a monitor control like this, which allows you to take like 1 or 2 input sources and put them out onto like 1 or 2 or even more monitors, and has a headphone amplifier built into it. And this is, I think, the only 10 out of 10 on this list, and it well deserves it. It well deserved it. It costs around 130 euros. I think I got it for 120 back then, like 2 or 3 years ago, and it just works. Like, it doesn't get warm. It looks cool, I think. I really like the look. I use this all the time, you know, the big knob in the middle is really good in order to adjust the volume. It has a crossfeed function for your headphones. It just works. The drivers work, it can turn this on with no issues. I never had any single issue with this at all. Just does exactly what it's supposed to do, and I love it. The Studio Logic SL88 Studio is the keyboard that I still have in my keyboard tray, and I have some good stuff and some bad stuff to say about this. Now, the good thing is, it's a really nice keyboard bed. It's the same keyboard that you get in the Native Instruments keyboard series. So that's definitely a big up, especially if you consider this is around €400 and the big Native Instruments keyboards cost around €1,000, but you're getting exactly the same weighted key feel. The only thing I don't really like about it is just the look. It just doesn't look good or cool to me. Like the menu is kind of ugly in the middle. Also, it doesn't have a mod wheel and stuff like this, which is just like, it works okay. It does what it's supposed to do. I didn't have any issues with the keypad so far, where a lot of people that bought this complained about it. From a price to value perspective, this is really a great deal. Now this is the mic you see standing right here. It's the T-Bone SC425 USB. The T-Bone brand is actually the brand from Thomann, so you can only get it on there. And man, it works great. It's an USB microphone. It's super minimal, but it just costs $70. You have like a headphone output as well. Don't have to complain about it, but it's also like the sound quality is good. It's definitely better than like smaller microphones or something, but it's not great. Like €70 it's just a bare minimum. But I think it looks cool, like especially also if I take this off. Man, it just looks nice. There's definitely way uglier microphones out there. I would recommend this if you're just, you know, looking for a cheap microphone to, you know, play some games or something. But if you're into vocal production, I would probably get something more serious. Now the X-Touch Compact is, I think, my most recent addition to the studio. It's sitting right next to me right here. The unit itself does what it should, which is great. The reason I got this over the more expensive yet way better X-Touch, you know, not the X-Touch Compact, but the X-Touch, is the reason that you can use this as a MIDI controller. So you have the Mackie control mode, where you can use this to control all the failures in your DAW, which works great once you set it up correctly. And then you can also use this as a MIDI controller, where you can attach MIDI CCs to every single button, every single encoder, every fader. Just, you know, put it in custom and use it to control your MIDI. Somehow, the bigger brother of it, the X-Touch, doesn't have this feature. And it's such a shame, because I would love to get this unit. Like, the X-Touch Compact is about €260, I think it's also what I paid. And the bigger brother, the X-Touch, is around €360, so it's a €100 price increase. But look at what you're getting right here. If you have the desk space and you want to get like a DAW controller, this is great. With the Compact, I don't really use it as a DAW controller. I don't use like the transport controls. This is just so much better, you know, the scroll wheel, the zoom functions, the automation functions, all this stuff. It's just, the screens, it has level meters. It's just so much better. Yeah, but somehow this unit doesn't support the MIDI CC, which is the reason why I wanted to get this in the first place. You know, I wanted to have something to control my MIDI CCs when I'm doing orchestral music. The X-Touch Compact, even though it's a great unit, it's taking a little bit of a piss off the bigger brother. Something I also got recently is this Audio-Technica AT-LP60X. Sound is okay. It's, I think, like one of the cheapest vinyl players you can get, but theoretically you can use this to record your vinyls directly into your PC over the USB interface. And I bought this to, you know, sample some vinyls, and I never did it. And I bought this, I paid $150, and I never sampled any vinyls with this. And this is the reason I'm only giving this a 3 out of 10. If the market wasn't like so crowded with this shit, and if I would need the money, I probably would have sold this already. It's just standing right here behind me, and it's not even looking beautiful, man. It's a little bit uglier even, I think. Not the greatest purchase I've ever made. Now, to round things out, I think I had to include these because they definitely gave my studio the studio look that it has right now. These lights aren't even that great in particular. Like, they look cool, but for €30 you could probably get something a little bit more, you know, serious, a little bit, not just a cheap China brand. But the vibe that these add is just really great, which is why I gave them an 8 out of 10. definitely a recommendation. Now to round up the whole video, I'm going to talk about stuff that I want. Man, recently I felt so tempted to get like a synthesizer, and this is, I think, the next big purchase I'm going to make for the studio. Like synthesizers, pedals, all that kind of stuff. I'm always watching these videos from people like Prop by Jack, Alice Lost, like all these other YouTubers, and I see them and I see them making loops with all these synths, and like, yeah man, I want to do this too. And now in order to run something like this, obviously I need the audio interface, and I might have something in the work to get my hands on like a really nice Scarlett audio interface. I don't really want to talk about this right now, but I'm definitely gonna get another audio interface. If I get like a good, decent audio interface, I'm also gonna get like another good XLR microphone. So getting rid of this cheap ass USB mic and this DJI mic that I'm using for these videos right now, and rather getting something more serious like an SM7B. That's definitely on my wish list. Costs around 400 euros, I think, which is like, back in the day this would have seemed so expensive and so much out of my reach. But the older you grow and the more money you make and the less, you know, at the moment I'm not really spending much, all of a sudden things like this are in your reach. And it's just, you know, a blessing to have the ability to not look for the most budget option and get like the cheapest thing that can possibly do the job. That's it with this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely let me know what you think about these things, what your experiences are. I would love to share that. Also, quick reminder, if you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like or subscribing to the channel. I definitely appreciate that. I'm gonna keep you posted on all the studio upgrades and stuff and the thing that I want to get. But for now, I wish you guys a really good day. See you in the next video. Bye.